Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of SportsPoint, brought to you by Pointer Studios. I am your host, Jacob Spoerl. Joined here to my right, we got new guest, Hunter McAlpine, and the Brett McNamara. The return. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good. First time being here.
Yeah.
Not happy, Jacob.
Not happy.
Not happy at all.
Yeah, you know, this weekend was a little tough if you were a Wisconsin sports fan, especially in the football side of things, except the Pointers are 3-0 for football. So you know what?
Crazy.
That's kind of there's some positives. Definitely a little rough weekend. I'm not gonna lie. My NFL Sunday was ruined, and then watching the Bears prevail definitely made things a little bit worse. But you know what? We're just gonna move on. We'll start it off with the crowning champion segment because obviously there's some good things going on in the sports world this weekend. My crowning champion for this week isn't a specific player. It's NFL special teams. There was 3 blocked field goals within a 5-minute span. I can't remember the last time that happened. 2 of them were returned for touchdowns, and unfortunately, one of those was in the Packer game, not in our favor, in the Browns' favor. But we'll get to that. Still a very impressive weekend for NFL special teams, a part of the game that a lot of people overlook and don't really talk about, but they made a big impact this weekend.
Yeah, it was very eventful. Definitely haven't seen that ever in my life.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
2 return for touchdowns.
Yeah.
All within
Wild
the last
few minutes.
all within the last 2 minutes of each game. That's
Just
insane.
in general, the season's just been like weird and insane.
Yes.
But I'm enjoying it. It's fun to watch, I guess. Besides, yeah.
It's better than not having football, that's
Yes,
for sure.
That's true.
Amen. You know what? Even with the losses, like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't expect.
It's early in the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to go first? Who wants their crowning champion to be represented?
I guess I'll go next. Kind of relating to special teams with crazy plays, but it was on defense. Isaiah Rodgers, even though he is an in-division rival on the Vikings, had 2 defensive touchdowns. One, a pick 6. I think it was some 90-some yards
Yeah.
or whatever. And then a fumble forced and recovery scored touchdown. That was 80-some yards. And then he had another one. And I think I seen on Instagram earlier today, he had a 99.9 PFF grade.
Yeah, I'm
Insane.
not surprised. I kind of clowned that because he was a free agent acquisition from the Eagles this season.
Yeah.
And he played on a Super Bowl team, but I just feel like Isaiah Rodgers never really did anything. So if any player to go get from that team,
Brian
with him,
Flores.
But of course, with a great defensive coordinator like the Vikings have and Brian Flores, they'll find ways.
Him and rookie quarterbacks he's got a crazy good record.
Yeah,
Well,
he does.
to be honest, I mean, Isaiah Rodgers was pretty good when he was on the Colts, and then I think he got suspended, correct?
Yep.
I think so.
For gambling.
Yeah, for gambling.
Yeah. That's
It wasn't actual gambling, but it was because it was within the facility.
within the facility.
Yeah, so he got suspended for that, and that kind of derailed, I want to say, his career with the Colts at least. And then he was a decent backup for the Eagles, obviously, and then he got a pretty decent contract with the Vikings. So
Off to a good start.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of the Eagles, Brett, who's your crowning champion?
my crowning champion is Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle of the Philadelphia Eagles. If you missed it, watching the Packers game, right after they panned right to the Eagles game, Rams moved right down the field. They had a pretty big lead. It was 26 to 12 at one point, or something like that.
More than that, I think.
It was a big lead for the Rams, and the Eagles came back, took the lead, and the Rams marched right down the field, ready to take a field goal, and then bam, Jordan Davis blocked it,
Big man.
picked it up himself, ran it the whole way, scored the touchdown. It wasn't a game-winning touchdown because they already had the lead at that point, but still a nice play there by Jordan Davis, and this Eagles defense once again is stepping up for the boys in the green.
Yeah, you know what? The Rams, I picked the Eagles to win, especially it's in Philadelphia, but the Rams for most of the day looked like the better team, but the fact the Eagles came back and won, that's why they're a championship-level team. Even though they annoy me so much.
They were in control of the game the whole time. The Rams were right up
Absolutely,
until the
and
end.
Jalen Hurts, once again, not throwing a pass down the field up until the second half.
But he proved the doubters wrong. Throwing, the NFC is pretty stacked.
It
It's
is
crazy.
stacked, including the Packers still.
I
Yeah.
can't take the pain anymore of watching good former Packers players score and do good. Like Devontae had a 40-yard touchdown
Dude,
there.
he's still so good.
It's dude, I just missed that where throwing that back shoulder pass to from Aaron
fade.
Rodgers to Adams was just.
Good
And then
times.
I think one of the best passes, if not the the greatest pass of all time, is the Packers playing against the Eagles. And he threw it right to Devontae, and it went right past Malcolm Jenkins' arm, right into the breadbasket, Devontae.
It is one of the highest
oh my gosh.
improbability.
Oh yeah, and then on
passes.
top of that,
Yeah.
it was when we were coming back. It was our run the table.
It was 2016.
Like 6 games, yeah, exactly. Where we were 4-6, and we had to win 6 games straight, and we did it. And then we made the playoffs and won the game.
Yeah.
So
Really quick, I'd like to highlight our jerseys today. I'm not wearing Clay Matthews. I'm wearing Rashawn Gary. You can't really see the signature because of the lighting, but it's signed by Greg Jennings. So pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. Wait, okay. Now I got to show you guys.
well, yeah.
That was at the
We're all- I
watch
was gonna
party
say, I'm gonna
last year, right?
Oh,
Okay.
look at that! Look at that!
Met him in person last year.
Fancy.
Pretty cool. What are you guys wearing?
I'm wearing the Xavier McKinney jersey.
Nice.
Got a pick yesterday.
Yeah,
but,
you did.
He did.
Didn't really do much to help us, but yeah.
I'm repping the Caleb Durbin. Turn around.
Oh.
Bondi Dock Spiders. Yeah.
Rivals to my Kingfish.
Hey, maybe I'll get a
It's okay,
internship
Elvis.
there.
It's okay.
Maybe we'll see.
Fond luck, yeah. Yeah. Well, put on tape.
Hey.
All right, that'll move us on to the 3-Point Try Campus Roundup, brought to you by Point Brewery. And, of course, this month, flavor of the month, still Point Premium Root Beer. So I'm going to hand it out to you guys all nice and cold for this week. Point Root Beer is made with 100% real sugar. Point Premium Root Beer is handcrafted in small batches with the purest water, genuine Wisconsin honey, and all-natural vanilla. This gold medal winning recipe is refreshingly delicious, rich, creamy, and caffeine-free, giving it a time-honored traditional draft root beer taste.
I'm going to have to do that too. Hands are a little sweaty.
You guys got it? Yeah, they're kind
Yeah,
of tight on. All right, taste test. When you guys get it? Can you get it? You got to use the jersey.
A little sweaty.
I'll give it a little sip.
Hot mic moment.
Oh, yeah. That's good cold. Okay.
It scraped my fingers, so that's why
good.
I said.
Okay, so no, you're good. So I'll start it off really quick. UWSP football. Guys, I mentioned it at the top of the show. The first 3-0 start since 2017. I mean, are we serious? I wasn't even in high school yet the last time they did that. That was when, Ryan Ramczyk, who originally was on the Pointers, he got drafted that season.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, don't you worry, because Liam Stats was still here as a student. Back in
Yeah, Liam was
2017.
actually 35 years old. I'm just kidding. Not you, Liam. Not you in the fishbowl. Oh, my gosh. Forgot to mention Liam Sheen in the house, in the fishbowl. No, Liam Kim? Maybe. We'll never know. Yeah, we got it. All right, we got it. Okay, so as I said, 3-0 start. The Pointers go undefeated in non-conference play this season after beating Pacific University 36-13. Now, I mentioned it last week. They had to fly all the way to Oregon, something that not as long as I've been here, they've had to fly for a trip. My sophomore year, I believe, they had to take a bus drive to Missouri to play Lindenwood, which is a Division I school.
Really?
It was a bad score game, but obviously the opportunity to play a Division I school is very cool. But this is a Division III, so it's the same division of football. But the fact that they have the potential to get jet lagged, it's just not something you really experience
Something
playing.
you don't even think of.
Exactly, playing D3 football. But they went over and got the job done. It was a close game heading into the fourth, but the Pointers scored 22 points in the fourth quarter, and all three main backs scored touchdowns. Zach Lynch, Reed Smith, and the lead guy, Bryson Cashin, who also scored a 44-yard rushing touchdown. So Bryson Cashin, these first 3 weeks, has been lighting it up. And I don't know if you watched last week's episode, Hunter, but Cashin the week before, the game that we called for 90 in Pointer Studios, against St. Norbert, he had 180 return yards in the first half.
That's crazy.
Including a 95-yard return touchdown. So good stuff for Bryson Cash. I know we gassed him up last week.
Special teams just aren't in the NFL.
No, yeah, exactly. Special teams are everywhere. That might be the theme for this week.
And I'm kind of liking the new kick return for the NFL at least.
Oh, really?
I think it's working out pretty good.
You think so?
Yeah.
In terms of safety or trying to
Well,
get scores
just
off
both
of it?
safety, excitement.
Yeah.
I mean, it's working out pretty well. Lots
Absolutely.
of touchdowns.
Return numbers are up
return
big time.
numbers are
Big
going
time.
up big time. And I think obviously it's not the same as it used to be, but I like it.
Nothing is.
Sorry to jump into that.
No,
but,
no,
I was
no,
just kinda
don't worry.
saying that quickly.
I just think obviously gassing up Cashin, but like how efficient the run game is, and they also have oh gosh, I believe it's is it Martin? Who's the 4th-string quarterback? I think he's a freshman or
the
sophomore.
quarterback?
Freshman running back. Sorry, he's
I
not
know
a
there's
freshman, but
Lucas
he's the
Mills.
4th-string. Lucas Mills,
Mills,
that's who it
yeah.
is. Lucas Mills is also looking pretty good against St. Norbert. He got some reps in there.
Well, even then, like Zach Lynch is he's a sophomore.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be the starting.
He was expected to be the running back 3. So
This team's nasty. I'm telling
yeah,
you. Watch out, WIAC.
Oh, yeah. So, of course, this upcoming week is the bye week. And then, starting in October, the Pointers and the rest of the WIAC all have interconference play. The Pointers are heading to Platteville on October 4th. That is the next game on the schedule. And that, like I said, marks the beginning of WIAC play. Platteville, of course, is coming off the year where they just won the conference to many people's surprise, which has been much dominated by teams like Whitewater and La Crosse the last decade or so. So the fact that Platteville snuck in there and made some plays, and they haven't lost a game yet either. Something else to note, the entire WIAC is 21-2 through 3 weeks of play. So I think it's known, pretty much everyone who pays attention to D3 college football, that the WIAC is the best conference in D3 football. So
I have a question for you, Jacob.
Yeah.
What would you do if – should we put like a little not say bet, but like let's put a little –
bet?
Not a bet, but like what would you do if the Pointers end up beating Platteville this week? Or
next week? Oh, my gosh. If the Pointers start off 4-0, I was checking. I don't remember the last time they even went 4-0.
I feel like Reagan should just throw a pie at your face or something.
Pie? Do you want to throw a pie at my face? All right. So, production manager Reagan Van Wagner is going to throw a pie at my face if Platteville. I mean,
Guess I will be returning then.
It's like I'm not even doubting the Pointers, but Platteville's a good team, and it's heading to Platteville. So we'll see how they have a very nice facilities, but we'll see how that goes. You guys want to have anything else to talk about for UWSP football or?
I wasn't able to watch the game this weekend.
I know we weren't either. It was a paywall.
It sounded like most people weren't with it.
There was a
to
paywall,
pay $10 to
yeah,
watch.
absolutely. We should have just flown along.
Dude, I said that. And
Road trip.
We could have. Oh my gosh. Next time it happens, you call us 3. We'll all be there, guys.
We'll be there. We'll take a trip. All right.
Yeah,
what do you guys got for me?
I got women's volleyball.
Nice.
They played their first. Oh yes, we do. They played their first WIAC game of the season on Friday against UW River Falls, and they actually won that one 3-1 in sets. So
nice.
Good job there. And then if you want to say what happened at the Pointers Invitational.
Yeah, they did not do so hot. They lost to Cornell University 3-2, and then to Bethel University. They lost 3-1. So
that's all right. But those
not
are both
as hot there.
Those are both non-conference. So.
They are. Yeah, Carroll's pretty good, and then Bethel I've heard around.
Oh, Carroll, like Waukesha.
Yeah. Like
Carroll.
Yep.
Kinda close to my own water.
Kind of like our other Wisconsin conference with like Concordia and Carroll. So like there's like another team. Isn't St. Norbert in that too?
I believe so. Yep, St. Norbert's in that.
Yep. So yeah, they are now sitting at 8-6.
So around middle-ish of the conference, and I don't know if we talked about it yet, but in the preseason rankings, Point was projected, I believe, 4th place with Eau Claire was in there at 3rd, Whitewater in at 2nd, and Oshkosh in at 1st. So again, the WIAC is a potent conference, not just for football, but in a lot of other sports. We talked about this last week, but it's relevant to now because both of those teams are in their fall season and obviously heading into conference play. Where a lot of tough games, a lot of tough matchups will be around the bend. So, anyways, you guys got anything else for me in that category?
I'm good.
Both the soccer teams are doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So just shout out to them.
Yeah.
And then the golf teams doing pretty good.
Golf teams? There we go.
Women's golf, I think, is the only one that's going, but they're doing good too. So.
We'll definitely highlight them more next week, give some other teams some attention, especially with football having the bye this weekend. So, anyways, thank you guys for that, and thank you to Point Root Beer, specifically Point Brewery, to sponsoring this segment. That'll move us on to the NFL update, and I'll start us off with the Green Bay Packers because that's usually how we start the segment off. A little tough. The Packers.
You took the hat.
You took the hat off?
I had to.
Yeah, hold on.
We need like
hold on.
The bugle horn.
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence.
Oh, silence, Carlos. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carlos, my son. He's good there.
Looks like Javon Bullard right now.
Oh, my God. We'll get to that. So the Packers suffer their first loss of the season to the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. They lost 10-13.
healthy, buddy.
So obviously, I said it last week. I expected this to be a win, but we should have kind of got more into the fact that
Everybody was expecting a win.
yes, but the Browns aren't. They're not. No opponent in the National Football League
It's
is
a
more
Big
It's a
trap
trap
game.
game. Yeah.
Big trap
very
game.
much a trap game, and I'll say I've never been like the biggest believer in trap games because there's always an element of every team that you face that is potent, and you have to learn how to work around that. And obviously, this game was Myles Garrett, as we talked about last week, who, in my opinion, is the best defensive player in the NFL. However, as Matt LaFleur said in his press conference yesterday and today, he was not expecting, and the coaching staff didn't well prepare for the rest of this defensive line that was so good for the Browns. But I'm just going to break it down into little segments. We're going to start off with the bad because there's some stuff I want to talk about, especially in terms of what the fan base is saying and everyone's reactions for yesterday's game. The episode will be coming out on Friday, so if you're watching this on Friday, this is being filmed on Monday, the 22nd. Anyway, let's start it off with the bad. First off, sloppy play. 14 accepted penalties in this game for 75 yards. That's the most since week 3 of 2010 against the Chicago Bears. Now, that was the year we won the Super Bowl, and I've heard some people talk about that.
Calm down, Jacob.
I
Calm
know.
down.
But half of those accepted penalties came in the fourth quarter. 7 penalties in the fourth. Offensive line play was extremely poor. Several pre-snap penalties, but worst of all, 5 sacks allowed. That's the most in Jordan Love's career. And the Packers had a 15.5 pass blocking grade. That's the worst by any team's offensive line since 2021. And I think that was the theme of the game. I mean, right away, Zach Tom gets hurt on the first offensive play.
Shouldn't have been starting.
I agree. I believe he was rushed back, and unfortunately, the Packers have had that trend recently. They did it twice with Jordan Love last year, where I believe he was rushed back.
Yeah.
And now again with Zach Tom, who is our all-pro right tackle.
Just got paid.
Who we just paid in the offseason, and he's a phenomenal player. So that is definitely a part of the impact for why the O-line played the way it did, but it's not the full story. And then, obviously, Love's pick. Jordan threw an interception late in the fourth quarter on a crucial third down to Grant Delpit, who in my opinion is an underrated safety, but that was just a bad throw. And Jordan's been playing great this whole season up until that moment.
He's been playing great since last year.
Yeah.
I mean, if he went to throw a pick this game, he would have tied or either broke Rodgers' record for most games in a row without
exactly.
throwing
That's
a
a
pick.
part that not enough people are talking about.
As much as I've been hard on Jordan Love lately.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bad decision, but this is kind of what I was talking about in terms of hearing the reactions is people saying fire LaFleur or, bench Jordan Love or cut Jordan Love like bro.
Well, Malik, I mean,
Malik's good, but I saw him.
he went.
I saw him in
Nobody would have
person.
been that good against
Not at all.
that Browns
Not at all. He
front
was
seven.
so pressured, and for someone who's had such a consistent offensive line, such great pass blocking play, he had no time to throw yesterday. I mean, we only game planned seemingly for Myles Garrett, and he still played phenomenal against us. We didn't plan for guys like Malik Collins or first-round rookie Mason Graham, who all played really great. But we'll get to that in a sec. Play calling was also an issue. We had issues with getting the tight ends involved up until the second half. Savion Williams is only being used right now in the backfield, and in my opinion, is starting to get predictable for defenses.
Yeah.
And the Love interception was on a play that had 3 slants all on the left side of the hash. In that situation, obviously the pass was bad from Jordan, and even LaFleur was accountable in this sense, but I don't agree with the call, and he even doesn't. And also, we never made the adjustment to stop trying to throw it down the field. We had no protection for Jordan all game, yet we didn't try the dink and dunk short passes. We kept trying to throw it down the field. And also, we didn't have a run game once again. The Packers ran the ball 31 times for only 86 yards, which is only about 2.5 yards a carry. And of course, the special teams blunder, the blocked field goal attempt with about 30 seconds left in the game. All around, there was a lot of bad. And to be fair, it is not a burn the tape type game just because of how bad the play was. It was something that we need to learn from. And of course, there was some good, as you point out there.
Your jersey as well.
Yes, but yeah, both of our jerseys. I have them highlighted in the script before I knew the jerseys that we were going to wear. The defense is still elite. That's something we all need to focus on. even though there was some penalties on the defensive side of the ball, very much still a top 3 defense in the NFL, in my opinion. Rashawn Gary had himself a day, and of course, Xavier McKinney getting his first interception of the 2025 season. Also, Matthew Golden finally has somewhat of a breakout performance. It wasn't a great game by any chance.
4 catches for 52 yards.
Yeah, 4 catches for 52 yards, definitely getting him involved. And also, let's just relax. It's only week 3. It's a non-conference game, and no one should get fired. No one should get cut.
Last I checked, we're still first in the North.
Yes, we're still first in the NFC North, even if tonight we don't know the results, even if the Detroit Lions do upset, in my opinion, be an upset to the Baltimore Ravens, we're still going to be on top of the division because we have the tiebreaker over the Lions. Do you guys have anything you guys want to say?
I want to just touch on, I've been really hard on Jordan Love. Part of that is just on me comparing him to Rodgers a lot.
Yep.
But
a lot of fans
that interception, I think, was more a plus on Delpit than it was a negative on Jordan Love. Because watching the tape afterwards and a couple of people that I watched after the game, it almost looked like Jordan Love was just throwing that ball away at the feet of, I think it was Kraft he was throwing it to. And Delpit actually had to make an insane catch to even grab that ball. He had to dive down. If he would have threw it right at Tucker Kraft, it would have been a pick 6. He would have ran right to the end zone. But I think Jordan Love was actually throwing that ball away, which, giving him credit, I've been pretty harsh on him lately, like I said. But I don't think he necessarily played a bad game. I think it was more the offense, and then it was just a bad offensive game all around.
He didn't have an opportunity to really succeed.
No.
Both in terms of play calling and in terms of offensive line play.
Yeah, the pass rush was insane by the Browns, which, we tried to run it on the inside with Jacobs. Couldn't do that. We tried getting something going on the outside with Savion and Matthew Golden, which got more yards than running inside, granted, with Jacobs. So we were getting some pluses there. But I think the Browns just had a better game than us overall.
I agree. They're a team that shouldn't be underrated because everyone points to the fact that the Ravens scored 41 points the week before. But I think 2 or 3 of their scores were defensive, and also the game was 10-3 at halftime.
Yeah.
The Bengals, who had Joe Burrow at the time, very much a high-powered offense. They were stifled to only 17 points in week 1. They've got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. The Browns are coming up, and it's statistically true as of right now. They're the best rushing defense in the NFL. They know how to stop the run, and they did with us yesterday. So credit to the Browns. They don't have an offensive line right now. They don't have a great quarterback, in my opinion.
Their running back. Yeah.
Judkins looks like the real deal. The Browns are not a bad team. And honestly, it's a week-to-week league, as Matt LaFleur says, and any team that is bad can play well. And teams can play down to competition. I've seen it with the Packers, but do you have something you want to say, Brett?
Yeah. I wanted to let you guys talk about it a little bit first before I went off. It's the offensive line for me. You saw it all 3 weeks. The run game's not been there all 3 weeks. I'm sorry, unfortunately, just because Josh Jacobs gets 30 carries per game doesn't mean that the offense, and he's getting close to 100 yards, doesn't mean that it's a good run game.
He did the same thing with the Raiders.
He's done last 3 games, it wasn't good. I think the big part of it is that you're moving around this O-line way too much. Elton Jenkins isn't good at center. I'm sorry. He's not looking great at center at all. And I think moving him from that left guard spot and moving Aaron Banks over there, where Aaron Banks was more a sophisticated right guard for the 49ers, moving over to left guard. And I feel like it's just making this team not great offensive line-wise. Jordan Morgan, I'm sorry. Yeah. He's running towards that bus. There's way too many false starts. You're coming in there as the backup right tackle, as a first-round pick. If you're coming in as a first-round pick in general, you're supposed to be an automatic starter, no matter what. You're drafted as a first-rounder, basically labeled as a starter. Coming in as a backup in your second year, I understand you were injured. You didn't get a lot of playing time.
Yeah.
There is no reason you should be false starting more than maybe. I can give you one. Okay, it happens. A lot of people. You saw Malik Heath. It happened to him. It happens in the NFL. But doing it countless times, I think it happened 3 times in that game. Yeah, it was even 2 plays on 1 drive.
I do agree with some of that, but I do disagree with some of that. So what I agree with you with, or what I agree with, is I do believe that the offensive line has not played great, especially the last 3 games in terms of run blocking. I also agree in the sense that we have been sloppy, and their egos probably do need to be checked. I mean, obviously,
Rashid's definitely does. but-
Rashid does.
Matt
And
definitely
Rashid
said
didn't play
that.
great either. He played terrible.
honestly, he had the worst. He had the worst.
Exactly.
He had the worst grade yesterday.
Matt called him out in the press conference.
And Matt called him
today.
out. Yes. So our offensive line played poor yesterday. However, there's some things I do like kind of agree and disagree. The one thing I'll say about Jordan Morgan is what's very tough, especially for a young offensive lineman to succeed, is you throw him at different positions.
Yeah.
In 3 games, he's now played left guard as a backup role, coming in, not starting. And then yesterday he came in after the first play of offense, a game he wasn't prepared, a position he wasn't prepared to play, played at right tackle, lined up on his first snap against Myles Garrett, and then eventually had to switch up and go to left guard.
He needs to be at guard, or they need to figure out a way where Elton Jenkins needs to go back to guard.
Now-
I'm sorry, Jenkins at center is just. I'm seeing it, especially that one sack where I forgot his name, but it was the defensive tackle. He just went right through Aaron Banks and Elton Jenkins.
I think it was Malik Collins.
And
Either
it's-
way,
like I love Elton Jenkins. He's once again it's him and then a couple other guys that have been there mostly with this team. Like he's one of the long-term veterans on this Packers roster, and even Sean Ryan. I don't think Sean Ryan played bad.
he was actually the highest graded offensive lineman
it's like-
yesterday.
I'm just not seeing it out of the starter group. Like your starting group is Rasheed Walker, Aaron Banks, Elton Jenkins. Who's your starting right guard? Ryan?
I'd say Sean Ryan, but something else that we need to mention too in terms of pass protection is, you know who didn't get a sack week 1? Aiden Hutchinson. And I know he's coming back from his injury, but I still consider him arguably a top 5 pass rusher in the NFL. And also with Elton Jenkins, I understand the move to center because in 2020, when Corey Linsley got hurt, who was an All-Pro and was one of our probably the best Packer center I was a witness to, we put in second-year offensive lineman Elton Jenkins. We put him in at center, and it was against the Indianapolis Colts, who at the time had one of the best pass rushing grades in the NFL in 2020. And even though we ended up losing that game, he was the highest graded offensive lineman that day. So Elton Jenkins, even though to your point, like he did have a poor game. I think everyone had a poor game on the offensive line on Sunday. But this is the time you want to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want to make any mistakes at all. But it's so early in the year that once you have something flawed with your technique or in the way you play, you look at it now and then you try to correct it. And another good thing, too, is week 5, we have a bye week. So obviously, that gets extra time to heal up physically, but mentally, it gives you more time to practice. Practice reps are very important mentally, but also doing it physically. And I think we had a lot of injuries this offseason, especially with guys like Elton Jenkins didn't play for the first couple weeks of camp. Aaron Banks missed a lot of time. Rasheed Walker missed time. Like, I think as a cohesive unit, the offensive line every year gets better as the season progresses. And I think the same thing will happen this year. Do you guys have any more thoughts?
I just think going into this next week against Dallas, this is the game you want to win because this is your big game. I feel like of this early part of the season because you made the trade with Dallas.
Yeah,
this is Micah Parsons' revenge game. This is Kenny Clark's revenge game. Going into this one, you need to play to the best of your abilities. It's in Dallas. We're one of the best teams to ever play in Dallas. If not, we are the best away team to play in Dallas.
We have more playoff wins in their stadium
We
than
do.
they do.
We do also won a Super Bowl there.
So I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, I think it's just like it's focus on the next game. Not to say burn the tape, like I said at the start.
Yeah.
You got to look at the mistakes and correct them. But the Dallas Cowboys are going to be playing with some vinegar, as I said on the first game broadcast, Brett. The Cowboys are no slouch. However, it's a very good time to have a get-right game. Micah Parsons coming back home.
They'll be without CeeDee Lamb, too.
Yeah.
Just got injured. High ankle sprain.
High ankle sprain out for at least 2 games. So there's a lot of big things going on in terms of that regard. I'm going to mention the injury report really quick. Also, just a big shout-out to Liam. I mean, Liam, flip it to Liam Cam if you want to. But holy crap, the graphics last week, like, that's why he gets
Beautiful.
That's why he gets paid. Absolutely. Wonderful job. So he's got a little injury graphic that he did last time. It was awesome. But really quick, Zach Tom re-injured his oblique. Aaron Banks, groin injury from the game. Javon Bullard.
Sorry.
He was played. Were you good?
From earlier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Javon Bullard has played great.
Oh,
He's been one of the top slot guys in the
Yeah.
NFL. And he had a nasty hit. He's in concussion protocol, so will probably miss this game against the Cowboys and hopefully be back week 6.
St. Anderson time, baby.
Yeah. Well, he might. I don't know who we're going to push to slide. I think
Evan
we
Williams. Does Williams play nickel a little bit?
No, we use more Keyshawn Nixon, and we didn't camp with that. So I think
Who was the safety we drafted a couple
Bo
years ago?
Melton.
Katan Oladapo.
Yeah, he could see some playing time.
Might. He's a big special teams guy.
He's bigger.
And then something else that a lot of people didn't mention. I didn't even know this during the game. Devontae Wyatt took himself out on that last drive, and he has a knee injury right now. So hopefully everybody's okay. But that's all I've got for the Packers. Obviously, big game against the Cowboys coming up. I'm predicting a victory because it's a bad loss, but I think this would be a great time to respond on Sunday Night Football.
This is not a trap game.
This is not a trap game, not at all.
This is a prime time game. Sunday
in our home away from home.
Sunday Night Football.
All right, so let's cover the rest of the NFL. Brett has unfortunately passed.
He was, yeah.
We'll miss him.
First time meeting him.
Really?
And just, I don't know. Maybe it was me.
I think a lot of his built-up anger for the Packers offensive lineman.
Yeah. Jordan Morgan really got to him.
Oh, my gosh.
Elton got
I was
to
shocked
him.
by that take. I want to throw the flag. He was so passionate, though.
I mean, it's got where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep, absolutely. So. All right. Well, that'll bring us into the rest of the NFL. I've kind of talked about it earlier in terms of special teams. But, yeah, 3 games this weekend, all with blocked field goals, all within the same 5 minutes, and 2 of them returned for touchdowns. Brett mentioned it at the top of the show.
Yep.
Jordan Davis returned one for a touchdown. And then the Jets-Buccaneers game, that was blocked and also returned for a touchdown. However, the funny thing is the Buccaneers still won that game with a game-winning field goal. So
did you see Aaron Glenn's dance?
I love that.
That was pretty sweet.
Dancing? Oh, that was so fun.
That was pretty sweet.
Do you want to talk about the next one since you already
so kind of what I covered earlier on with my crowning champion. The Vikings beat the crap out of the Bengals. Insane. I mean, Jamar had a forced fumble by who? Isaiah Rodgers.
That was on Jamar Chase?
Yep.
Wow.
That was pretty crazy. I'm pretty sure it was on him.
Okay.
But Carson Wentz was their starter this week since
J.J. McCarthy
was out.
That's an injury.
But, yep, it was Harrison Smith's first game back. I believe he forced the fumble that Isaiah Rodgers returned for the touchdown.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was – I didn't watch most of that game, just checked up on some highlights afterwards. But it was a beating. Not what we like to see as Packer fans, but
speaking of not what we like to see as Packer fans, the Bears get their first win of the season at home, soaring past the Dallas Cowboys. Caleb Williams had I believe 142 passer rating, absolutely lighting up that the Cowboys secondary. 4 passing touchdowns, no turnovers, upsetting. But this is the Bears team I was expecting to see all season. So I didn't believe. Even though the Bears sucked week 2, and they just obviously started the year 0-2, I didn't fully buy into the fact that they would be same old Bears. They just have I still believe in Ben Johnson. They have too good of a roster. I don't think they might get to 10 wins. That was my original prediction. I don't think it's going to be that much. They're a little worse than I thought they would be. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the Cowboys, too, who they played, they have I don't know. Their defense is hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully we can do pretty good against them as well.
Yes.
CD is hurt on offense.
Yep.
But we'll see them next week on Sunday Night Football.
The Colts.
3-0.
I mean,
Indiana Jones.
Oh my gosh, Daniel Jones, now Indiana Jones.
Someone's bringing a gun to a knife fight.
Yeah, for real. And Jonathan Taylor he's having a very much
best
similar
back in football right now.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I would okay. Yeah, Derrick Henry had the game against the Browns.
He's been the best back in football so far.
Yeah, I'd agree. Dang, I didn't draft him in any of my fantasy drafts, and now I'm kind of disappointed. But this one's the biggest one. It's not the biggest in terms of us being Packer fans. I was just shocked. The Carolina Panthers shut out the Atlanta Falcons 30-0. Insane. Michael Penix was playing very poor. I mean, they never made it to the opposing team 30 or more.
That's crazy.
That's insane. And also, now, Parker Romo, who was Brett's, it was his crowning champion last week, the new kicker for the Falcons, missed 2 field goals, which sucks for him because, that was cool to see that in his first game. He was lighting it up against the Vikings, and we don't like the Vikings, so that was cool. He had a rough game yesterday, but more so Michael Penix just was playing off, did not have a very good game, so much so that they benched him for Kirk Cousins to play in the fourth quarter. Good stuff for the Panthers. T-Mac rookie Teteroa McMillan had himself a game. And that was very impressive, too, to me, because they lost 2 of their starting offensive linemen for the year, I think, or at least for temporarily. So good stuff for the Panthers. Also, I don't know if you kept track. We usually don't talk about the Wisconsin Badgers. Forgot to mention them last week. But in terms of football, the Badgers, I believe, lost 27-10 to Maryland. That was one of the games that I think people were like, yeah, the Badgers will probably win it, and so did I. But
what is Maryland's record right now?
I think they're 4-0. They're undefeated, but obviously in college football, you can start off undefeated and then you face some real opponents and then get absolutely shellacked.
That's crazy.
And something else about Maryland, they had Malik Washington, their freshman quarterback, who was dicing them up. And I was looking at a graphic against the Badgers. The vast majority of their starting defense were freshmen. Defensive linemen, freshmen. 3 linebackers, freshmen. 4
Young Bucks are doing good.
Freshmen. The Badgers, I mean, everyone's saying it. If you're a Badger fan, fire Luke Fickell, and I could not agree more. Ever since they hired him out of Cincinnati, I didn't see the vision. They were supposed to be this high-powered passing offense, which the Wisconsin Badgers have never been. And sure enough.
Shout out JT.
Yeah. We're already 3 years into the Fickell campaign, and there's been no such thing. Injured quarterbacks and all. Still not really much. Other than that, do you have any reactions too?
I just seen the Badgers score scrolling through Facebook the other day, and I don't watch much college football, just strictly NFL basically. But seen the score and just kept scrolling. Same old Badgers.
I'm pulling. Yeah, same old. Yeah, I know these last couple of years specifically, they've just been rough. I don't know. Since 2018 was the last season where they were very good. That was Jonathan Taylor. Or 2018 or 2019, I don't remember. Jonathan Taylor was having another great season. And they lost barely to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. But speaking of college football, there's actually some good, really solid matchups this weekend. We got Alabama at Georgia this weekend on Saturday. We got a couple. Oregon at Penn State. Both top 6 ranked teams. Tennessee at Mississippi State, Indiana at Iowa, 4-seeded LSU at 13th ranked Ole Miss. There's just some good games this weekend. Georgia Tech's been rolling. Very interesting to see. I'm very excited, especially for the Alabama-Georgia game. Grew up in Florida, and even though I wasn't in the state of either of those teams, that was still very much a big rivalry.
Archie Manning played pretty well last game.
Yeah, he played better. And you know what? For all the people that think that teams are going to try to tank for him this year in the NFL, I don't even think he's going to be in the draft this year. I think he's going to be in next year's draft.
You really think so?
I think so, just because he's now a sophomore. Like I remember when he was playing high school football.
Yeah, that wasn't too long ago.
No, exactly. He's just too young, and I think he needs another year starting. Anyways, besides that, moving on to the MLB update, the Milwaukee Brewers take the NL Central for the 3rd year in a row, and even though the day they took it was the day they lost to the Cardinals, it was because the Chicago Cubs got swept by the Reds, and that loss gave the Brewers the division. Absolutely awesome. You know, I was working in Kenosha all summer, and you know, we're 5 minutes from the Illinois border, so about like half the people I worked with were Chicago sports fans, and specifically over the summer, since it was baseball season, I heard a lot about the Cubs. And then there was at the point in the summer where the Brewers started edging them out, and now we're at the point where the Brewers take the division. And obviously they're in somewhat of a slump right now, losing some games, but the postseason is what we're looking for. And obviously the Brewers are trying to catch the number 1 seed, and the team that they've got to watch out for are the Phillies. They're only a couple games behind. So if you're watching to try to see how the Brewers can take advantage and take the 1 seed, just obviously watch the Brewers and then watch the Phillies and see how they're playing. And then aside from that, not really too much going on. I'm going to really quickly.
Aren't the Brewers getting pretty injured right now, too?
They are. Woodruff got a little bit dinged up, so he should be back around the time for the start of the playoffs. But because if we do get the 1st or 2nd seed, we get a little bit of that bye, so we have a little extra time to heal up.
How long is their bye? Or how long would a baseball bye be?
It's going to be about, I think for the round, it's going to be about a week. So you get,
that's because don't they usually play like every other day?
Yeah, but for the playoffs, it'll be the wild card round, and then we'll get further into the playoff seeding. So the Brewers actually only have 6 games left, and this is, again, recorded on Monday. They have a 3-game series against the Padres, who are pretty solid right now. I'd argue they're probably a top 10 team in baseball. And then after that, they close off the year at home with a 3-game series against the rival Cincinnati Reds. And, of course, they've already clinched the playoff spot, so obviously the Reds are going to want to play spoiler and try to prevent them from getting to the 1 seed. But that's about it for the Brewers. We're getting close. The final game is on September 28th. So once we hit October baseball, we're postseason bound. So I'm very excited for the Brewers this year. Obviously, a lot of heartbreak with some football this weekend, but we're excited to be back next week. Obviously, Packers taking on the Cowboys. The Pointers get a week off in terms of football. And, Brewers rolling. So anyways, that's about it for this episode. Thank you to everyone who helped out. Rest in peace, Brett, who will probably be back next week or the week after. Thank you to Hunter for coming on today. Thank you to Liam helping out all the post-production and such. And, of course, the fantastic graphics. And thank you all for watching last week's episode. We had fun today. And from all of us here at SportsPoint, we'll see you next time.